Hey guys, so how are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin evening update. If you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we will go straight over to those charts. So yeah, we're talking about this morning about seeing how today's price action resolved, and if we did move back to the upside, then I was going to adjust the bottom of our potential ascending triangle. So yeah, I believe I have to do that now. So obviously we've got to stretch it out a bit longer, but I think pretty much that that this looks pretty good, really, doesn't it? Yeah, just maybe get it there, get it up a bit. Oops, getting caught at the side. Yeah, pretty happy with that trend line. That is looking good to me. We'll move this across here as well, and then move that up to meet it, so we've actually got an actual triangle. But yeah, so you can see, guys, we have pretty much got a. We'll just pull that back there a bit. We just have an ascending triangle, but a slightly different one at the moment. Slightly different one to what we had before. Obviously, the last one was quite an aggressive one, which we did lose. But yeah, it looks potentially like we could just be forming a longer one and just have like a longer form consolidation in this zone before a pump up. And I mean, we don't have to wait till the end of the zone. 75% full is when they usually break, so I make that as around here, which is well, in all fairness, that's a good few days away, 3 or 4 days away. But yeah, constructive price action for Bitcoin. It's obviously good to see us get bought up. I was kind of saying we could potentially be forming a box here, so this ascending triangle may not be what breaks us up. We may break down and just come down to test this horizontal here again. I would not be a surprise at all if that does happen, because I am quite a fan of more sort of box formations, where price gets caught between two levels and sort of trades in a range, as opposed necessarily to ascending triangles. I know ascending triangles do work out really well in Bitcoin, when they do work out really well, but obviously that's not always a formation that gets formed. So I mean, in this scenario, if we trade around here and come back down, I mean, we just clearly aren't an ascending triangle, even though initially we thought we were in one here, and at the moment potentially think we're in one here. So yeah, this price action is obviously good because this is the resistance zone, 9,500 to 9,800, well, nearly 9,900. But yeah, if we make it through this zone, then, well, if we make it through that zone, we then got these tops here, which obviously I think we will take out no problem if we do get up here. Just because I think we will be looking like it was an ascending triangle, but just a larger one. And then we would have a projected move, well, pretty much to around 13k. So yeah, and that's when things could pretty much get pretty wild for Bitcoin, to say the least. I think this is just the one last sort of stutter step to basically to see whether we are definitely going bullish, whether the bulls can hold their nerves, whether the hodlers, the holders, the longs can hold their nerves for a breakout, or whether they sort of basically capitulate their positions and sell, thinking that we aren't going to make it out. So I think this is the test, really. This is the test for the bulls' metal, to see how they can hold out in much the same way. This was a very difficult range for the bulls here, even though we're at sort of a macro trend line. This was a difficult correction, a difficult consolidation area for the bulls. It was looking like we were topping out, we were bottoming out, potentially, and then yeah, we break out the top of a descending channel and up and away. So I mean, I kind of do expect a similar sort of it not to be as clear cut as an ascending triangle, and be more of just in all fairness, relatively random price action ranging in this zone. But I mean, that has to be what happens. We can just form this textbook ascending triangle and just blast off on another leg upwards, as Bitcoin likes to do once it gets its runs. It's like Bitcoin's like a dog with a bone. Once it gets going, it just goes on and on and on. And yeah, same to the downside too. We see trends once we do get a trending behavior in Bitcoin, to the upside and the downside. then yeah, I mean, we obviously when we get trendy behavior, we get nice trends. It kind of goes without saying, doesn't it? So we'll have a look at the stochastics now, see if we're starting to get more confidence between those, because they were clearly beforehand. When we were looking at this morning and yesterday, they were a bit mixed. The shorter medium term ones were a bit bearish, but longer term ones weren't looking so bad. So yeah, 4 hour moving up quite nicely. So that is good to see, getting into the bullish half of this zone. So yeah, that's obviously constructive. 8 hour turning up as well. So I guess 10 hours going to be turning up. So well, I was going to say soon, but 10 hours turning up already. Yeah, 12 hour. We knew 12 hours was going to break this line just because of obviously it's a 12-hour one and we're quite close to it anyway. It can't just reverse on a penny. But yeah, obviously the 10 hour is going to feed through to the 12 hour. And the 12 hours, well, I would guess it's going to turn around here, providing we still keep moving upwards. And then obviously the daily is just drifting down, but if we do keep this bullish action, it is just going to look increasingly like a bullish reset. And then obviously 3 days, which are a bit problematic. As you can see, if we zoom in closely here, we can see they were looking to turn down, but as it stands at the moment, looking to proceed back upwards. So and then obviously we knew the weekly was looking good too. So we are starting to I believe look like we could make a good move to the upside here. It's only the 12 hour is the only real missing piece for me at the moment, but the 10 hour is looking good. So so yeah, in all fairness, if we stay in this zone, move higher, hang around this area, hang around the top of this pennant, I do think we have a very high likelihood, based on the stochastics, on the momentum that we have, to take out this horizontal and to yeah, just blast off until wherever we decide to, well, we'll decide to land, wherever price action decides to stay after this. When we do that, I mean, I would expect just to basically play out the next range, the next zone. I mean, in an ideal world, we would move all the way above this horizontal here, in which case we could just get some wild price action in here, forming a base at this level, and then yeah, and I mean, we'll be at 20k pretty soon if that is the case. But don't obviously expect that necessarily to be the case once we break out of here. But I mean, it's definitely not beyond the realms of possibilities for us to break up from here, break straight through the, well, basically the 13 and the 14s, and start to well, start to play in this range here, and then form a base down here. So obviously incredibly bullish, pure speculation there, but that's kind of when Bitcoin gets trending. They're the sorts of moves it makes. You kind of look what is going on here. We had a big move up, consolidate in a potential ascending triangle, and then a big move. I mean, it's not as big a move, in all fairness, is it, from here to here, as it was from here at this point to where we did get up to. And we took out lots of horizontals. Admittedly, we're in a more of a choppy zone, so we had more horizontals, but yeah, I mean, obviously price action, we don't have as much price action history up here, so we don't have as many horizontals, so we don't have as much resistance, which means price action can just get wet and wild. So yeah, just looking good. Obviously this is still gonna be a difficult point for Bitcoin to remain bullish if it breaks this level here. I still maintain we can break this level here and still be okay in our macro uptrend. It just will be really testing the bulls, basically testing the bulls. But this is the zone where things do start to look a bit Pete Tong, a bit below 10,500 is where things start to look difficult. Difficult for Bitcoin. But yeah, I mean, we kind of see this run up here. You can see how we move up. The run up here that we get these big moves in Bitcoin. It's kind of how it likes to move. This move what we had, this big move we had from down these 4k areas, the big pump up, consolidate, pump up again, consolidate. I mean, a bit more of a vicious pullback here, looking like a head and shoulders, but then again onwards and upwards, guys. So that is how Bitcoin likes to move. This could just realistically just be the start of a big move upwards. I know that that just sound like very optimistic and moon boy mentality, but I mean, I'm just looking at the charts, just understanding the personality of how Bitcoin likes to move, and yeah, literally the next leg up to get to landing above 14k is definitely not beyond the realms of possibility for what Bitcoin is capable of. So that's it, guys. Not a lot to say. Not a lot really happened in world markets today. Obviously silver and gold, we were looking at that sort of ascending triangle that they were forming, and silver's basically nearly back at $28. Realistically, $28 was roundabouts where it topped. Obviously $29, a dollar away, but hey. So silver, I mean, regaining everything. Gold on its way. Gold still got a bit further to go, but yeah, silver doing really well, guys. Stock market's back up, Nasdaq back up, dollar basically. Well, this is the dollar index, and well, yeah, I mean, in this morning's video, I did kind of say watch out for the 4-hour 9 to give us a bit of a pump up or consolidation, and there it was. That was a 4-hour 9, but obviously flipped into a price flip to a 1 as it did pump up, as I said, to watch out for. But that's just a temporary. That's just a I believe on the balance of probabilities, in my mind, this is just a temporarily respite in this downward move, and we are just going to continue down. And once we take out the low of this 8 candle, the dollar to the downside will have so much momentum, it's going to take out this level and slam down. Not financial advice, and that's clearly going to send silver above $30. I'm gonna win my bet, and it will send Bitcoin probably to about $14,000 as well. So that's what I see playing out. And yeah, and anything else you want to know, just let me know, and I'll ask my crystal ball. And I can give you just as precise information about anything you want, really. So there you go, guys. So right, we're done now. Remember, this is not a financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I will speak to you guys in the morning.